Hello children. Today we'll learn the second chapter in science. The name of the chapter is digestion. Do you know what is digestion is? Digestion means break. What will be broken down? Food molecules. The food that we eat will have many larger molecules. Those larger food molecules should be broken down into simpler ones. That process is called as digestion. After learning this chapter, we will be able to explain the term digestion, describe the different stages of digestion, recognize the importance of good eating habits. Let me answer this question now, which comes under mind opener. You know that food gives you energy. Correct, right? We eat food because we want energy. There are two important nutrients in the food that gives us energy. One is carbohydrate, other one is fat. You chew your food to break it into smaller pieces. When you place the food in the mouth, we break it into smaller pieces. What do you think happens to the food particles? Whenever we chew, what will happen? The food particles will break into smaller pieces. So later the food particles will pass in the digestive tube of the digestive system. Digestive tube, or it is also called alimentary canal, that you are going to learn in higher class. This is what that digestive tube is. I am going to explain. Although you chew the food in your mouth, how do you think the rest of your body gets energy? Though we chew the food in our mouth, the food particles from the mouth, by passing through this digestive tube, they reach small intestine, where they are broken down into still smaller particles with the help of a special substance called enzymes. You will be learning this again in higher class. In the small intestine, it will be absorbed by our blood. Now, we'll go for this paragraph now. What is the digestion? That has been explained here. Your body cannot directly use the food that you eat to give you energy. What food we eat, directly it can't give energy. The food that you eat, like rice, meat, fruits and vegetables, is broken down into smaller simple forms. The food that we eat, suppose if it is rice, meat, fruits, vegetables, they are all broken down into smaller simpler forms. So this process, the breaking down of food into simpler forms inside your body, it is called digestion. The breaking down of food into simpler forms. One breaking down process will occur in our mouth with the help of teeth. But further, that process will occur in our digestive tube. Inside our body it occurs. So this entire process is called digestion. The breaking down of food into simpler forms inside your body is called as digestion. The blood then takes the digested food. After the food is broken down into simpler form, blood will take the digested food, that is simpler form, to all the parts of the body. It is the blood that is transporting or supplying or distributing the nutrients to different parts in our body. Digestion takes place in number of steps. Digestion occurs in number of steps. There are several organs in the body that helps in digestion. There are many organs in our body which helps in digestion. Together, these organs make up your digestive system. All these digestive organs together, here I'll just tell you, all those digestive organs, they form digestive system. Do you know a digestive system contains a digestive tube? The digestive tube starts with mouth. Here it is, mouth. Mouth will lead to mouth cavity. Around the mouth cavity, there are salivary glands. Do you know we have three pairs of salivary glands? One is in front of ear, one is along the jaws, one more will be below the tongue region. Three pairs of salivary glands. Do you know salivary gland will produce saliva? Then after mouth cavity there is a tube-like structure here which is called pharynx. It is not mentioned in your textbook, so you can ignore. Then after the pharynx region, so there is one tube-like structure which is called food pipe. In higher classes you're going to learn food pipe is also called oesophagus, OESO. Food pipe, or it is called oesophagus. Then food pipe will join one sac-like structure called stomach. So this is stomach. Do you know your stomach is present always in the left side of your body? Stomach. Then after stomach, the next structure is called as small intestine. So this is small intestine, highly coiled structure called small intestine. Do you know, like in front of stomach there is liver. It is the largest gland present in our body. In higher class you will learn liver will produce bile juice, which is very important for digestion of fat. Okay, then so there is pancreas. So just in this particular coil of the stomach, here there is pancreas. Okay, then small intestine will connect to this particular part, which is called large intestine. So this is the large intestine part. Okay, the large intestine will open out through anus. Through anus, undigested food, the food which is not digested, the components of the food which is not required for our body, it is actually eliminated out through anus. So the opening is actually, it will digestive, like a tube will open like this region, which is called mouth. Then it actually, like the last part of the digestive tube, it is nothing but anus, which will eliminate the undigested food, as well as the food which is not required for the components of the food which is not required for our body. The digestion process. Digestion starts in the mouth. When you chew your food, your teeth break the food down into smaller pieces. The sharp front teeth help to bite and cut the food into smaller pieces. The flat back teeth help to grind the food into a paste. We know this. When you chew your food, our teeth, what it will do? It will break the food into smaller pieces. In front we have sharp front teeth. Actually it is called incisor. They will help to cut the food into small pieces. Whereas we have flat back teeth, premolars and molars. They help the food to grind. Okay, mainly the food will be made into a paste. So mainly with the help of flat back teeth. Okay, not black, flat back teeth, which is called as premolars or molars. Now, saliva is a digestive juice. Salivary gland present in the mouth cavity will produce saliva. Salivary gland will produce saliva. Okay. Now, saliva is a digestive juice that is found in the mouth. It is made by salivary glands. When you chew, your tongue helps to mix the saliva with the food. This softens the food so that it can be swallowed easily. Do you know salivary gland produces saliva in the mouth? Saliva will be mixed with the food with the help of tongue. Tongue will help in mixing the saliva with the food. Okay, what saliva will do is, it will make the food soft. When the food is made soft, easily we can swallow the food in our digestive tube. So that is the reason saliva is very important. Then you have learnt in the previous lesson that food contains starch. You know, starch is a carbohydrate, especially rice, chapati, even bread. It mainly contains starch. Starch is an insoluble substance. Insoluble means it will not dissolve in water. It doesn't dissolve in water. That's why it is called insoluble substance. Saliva helps to break down the starch into soluble sugar. What saliva will do is, it will break the starch into soluble sugar. It will break the starch into soluble sugar. Actually, that soluble sugar is maltose. It is not given in your book. Do you know what is present in saliva which will break starch into sugar? It is one enzyme called salivary amylase. You will learn that in higher classes. Here you can consider saliva will break the starch into soluble sugar. When you eat food that is rich in starch, like bread, you will notice that it tastes sweet after you chew it. Especially bread and all, only after you chew, when the saliva mixes with the bread, at that time you feel sweet. Okay, this is because the starch is being changed into sugar. So here I told you, saliva helps to break down the starch into soluble sugar. So whenever a bread piece is placed in our mouth, when it is actually chewed, saliva will mix with that particular bread. It will convert the starch into soluble sugar. So due to formation of soluble sugar, it will get that particular sweet taste. So mainly because of that. Then your tongue then helps to push the food into a thin long tube called food pipe. So later what the tongue will do is it will help to push the food into thin long tube which is called as food pipe. Here you can have a look at. So this is food pipe. Food pipe, thin long tube. Tongue will help the food to push back into this particular tube which is called as food pipe. Food then passes into stomach. Digestion in the stomach. The food passes into stomach through the food pipe. After food pipe, food will pass into stomach. The stomach is a bag-like organ, almost sac or bag-like organ it is, stomach. The stomach muscles churn the food with more digestive juices. Churn means mix. The muscles present in the stomach wall, it will mix the food with more digestive juices. These juices start to break down the proteins and fat into simpler substance. The digestive juice present in the stomach, it will start breaking down the protein present in the food or fat present in the food into simpler substances. The food remains in the stomach for up to 3 hours. The food will be present in the stomach up to 3 hours. Here one additional information let me give you. Do you know stomach also secretes one acid? That acid is called hydrochloric acid. They also help in activating certain substances which is required for digestion of food. Here it's very clear. See, after the food pipe, this is the stomach. From the mouth, it is for food pipe, then it is actually stomach. Next, from the stomach where the food will go, it will go to small intestine. After stomach, the food will go to small intestine. Digestion in the small intestine. From the stomach, the food passes into small intestine. The small intestine looks like a long coiled tube. It looks like a long coiled tube. The inner walls of the small intestine produce certain juices. The inner wall of the small intestine will produce certain juices, digestive juice itself. Other organs such as liver and pancreas also produces juices. Other than small intestine, your liver and pancreas will also produce juices, and those juices will join small intestine, which are poured into the small intestine. That's the meaning. Liver will produce bile juice, pancreas will produce pancreatic juice. Both will join the small intestine. The food mixes with these juices and is completely digested. The food will mix with these juices. Which juices? One is the juice of the small intestine, other one is liver will produce bile juice, pancreas will produce pancreatic juice. With all these juice, the food will mix and it completely gets digested. Then, the digested food is now in a simple soluble form. The digested food will be in simple soluble. Soluble means it can dissolve in water. It is absorbed into the blood through the walls of the small intestine. Do you know which part of our digestive system will help in absorption of food? It is small intestine. The soluble simple form of food will be absorbed into the blood mainly through the walls of the small intestine. The blood then carries the digested food to all the parts of the body. Remember, from the small intestine, the simple soluble form of food will be absorbed. Later, in the blood, the simple soluble form of food will be distributed to all the parts of the body, mainly with the help of blood. The digested food is used to produce energy. The digested food, mainly carbohydrate and fat, it is used to produce energy. Let us answer these questions. Fill in the blanks. The blank space should be filled with the right word, right answer. First question. Digestion starts in the mouth. M-O-U-T-H. So these answers you need to write in your textbook itself. I'm going to forward the image in the WhatsApp group. Then second question. Here there is a blank space, is a bag-like organ. Do you know which digestive part is called bag-like organ? It is stomach. S-T-O-M-A-C-H. The stomach is a bag-like organ. Then third question. We need to write the correct word here, and again here also start breaking down in the stomach. Okay, it is proteins and fats start breaking down in stomach. Remember, stomach will not break carbohydrate. Carbohydrate will be broken down in mouth as well as small intestine, not in stomach. In stomach it is proteins and fat. They start breaking down in stomach. The last question, fourth one. carries digested food to all the parts of the body. So what will carry the digested food to all the parts of the body? It is blood. Blood will carry the digested food to all the parts of the body. So this answer I'm going to forward in the WhatsApp group. You're going to write in your textbook.